One last thing. What's my next point of action? Now that I know the kind of woman that I want, I am going to be, that I'm becoming, I think it's important to like the way to collapse the timelines of like me becoming her is to now start doing the things that she would be doing, right? Like, my thing is, I love to travel, but why does me be my highest version of myself have to be me traveling miles away, leaving the country to be that version, right? Like, I live. It sounds silly, right? So that therefore you're always going to feel there's a gap, and maybe in the past, I think that's probably wow. This is a big light bulb moment. I think the reason why I probably struggled with moving back to the UK is because I was coming back to a reality that I didn't, a version of myself that I didn't like, that I had escaped, that I had run away from. And oh my gosh, wow. And a version of myself that I didn't like. And that was really hard to grasp. And it's taken me freaking 2 years. It's so mad. It's so mad how we do it to ourselves. Sorry, I'm having like flashbacks of like when I started doing a similar kind of work and how I ended up living my desired reality version of myself. But yeah, I think the reason why it was difficult because I kind of came back to a version I didn't like. Like I didn't like myself in the UK. And I think that's the reason why we love traveling is because it's like we escape reality, we leave what we know and become a whole version of a whole different version of ourselves. But why must we leave the country in order to become her? Okay, in this concept, right? And I think there could be a whole range of reasons. Um, I think sometimes it's easy to feel kind of entrapped by our environment. And I'm going to be wary of the words I choose because sometimes the reason why I'm keeping my YouTube channel private is because I want to be this my version of me, right? Not what other people perceive me as or know me as. And I think that's how I associate traveling, especially solo traveling. Oh my gosh, I am my best self because no one's kind of you can be whoever you want to be. And I always feel like I'm being the truest version of myself. Like I'm so independent. I live life on my terms. I'm out of my comfort zone, daring, bold. Oh, it's so I love that version of me. It's so bold, delicious, like the woman that I love, right? And I think, yeah, I don't want to kind of say fake it till you make it, but me being in London, I live in one of the greatest, at the moment, one of the greatest cities in the world. Let's just deep that, okay? Like, until things really get shit, like, it's still one of the best cities. People travel, people escape their realities to move here for a better life, right? Why would I not make the most of it? Why am I always chasing a different timeline? Like, this is the one life I get to live. Make the most of it, of whatever situation you're in. Make the most of the current situation that you have, okay? With what you have, with the cards that you've been dealt with, what can you do? Make the most of it. Perhaps you're in this current reality because there's a version of you that needs to be explored, to be nurtured, to come alive. And actually, I watched Emma, what's her name? Greed? With her husband. I'll write her name. Aspire podcast. Great podcast with her husband. And they were talking about how actually look at dysfunction as an opportunity. Like, how can you be great in the reality in a situation that you're in? And actually, and I feel like that's the time where I feel like I come alive because you get to be a creative, you get to like think outside the box, you get to kind of tap into this world of unknown, unlimited possibilities. And that's how you take your power back. That's how you take control back, right? And so that's my next point of action. It's like I live in one of the best cities, okay? How and literally look at it as if it's a video game. And I think that's how it becomes fun. Enjoy the process. This whole everyone that you hear and listen to, they literally say the best part of all of this is the journey. Like when you get to the destination, when you achieved it, it's like it's great for a moment in time and then it's fleeting onto the next thing, right? And I think that's another thing that I deeped and it's made such a change. It's like I'm treating my life and goals and everything as a game, a fun video game, because probably that's what it is, right? Like this reality is bonkers. Like how we're living, existing, is quite maddening to even grasp what is this, yeah. So treat it like that. And the more it becomes joyful, the more you're able to tap into that good energy vibration, the more you can like act and execute from that state instead of forcing, resisting. Oh my gosh, this is such a chore. Oh my gosh, I hate my rent. I hate no. Like, it's one life. Enjoy it. Every ups and downs. And I think once you kind of deep that mentality, it's actually quite good for you, because life is not always going to be peak best, amazing. There'll be highs and there will be lows. How are you going to react? How are you going to be and react is going to make all the difference. So my next point of action is, right, I'm in London. I'm in my 30s. I'm in the prime of my life. Yeah. And I could come up with so many excuses of like what's holding me back, what's where I'm feeling restrictive, especially now that I'm not working. But that's just all a mental thing, okay? I kind of got to think, work within my means. Because, I think it's so easy to be like, London's expensive, da 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 da. You need money to have fun, you need money to enjoy yourself. But if I fully trust that God, this universe, is taking care of me, looking after me, don't worry. It's going to come to me, okay? Just take a step forward, take a leap of faith, and everything will come. And what's wild is that God, universe, gives you more of what you have. Is like, now that I've taken the first step of action, I'm like, okay, I don't, because the thing is, the more you're gonna be like, oh, I can't do this because of this reason, the more you're gonna be stagnant. So like, as a result, be like, okay, I want this for my life. I want to go to this, exclusive, or like this nice restaurant. Where my highest version of who I am would be in, would go and spend her time in. I'm like, okay, right now I'm fortunate, I'm blessed. That's a place where I choose to invest my time and energy. I want to. I don't see it as a deficit, because another thing I deep is like, I'm being very conscious. Like, I'm not associating with words I'm broke and this and that, because it's funny how when you want to do something, all of a sudden you have the funds for it. You clearly, when you don't do something, it's it's not because you're broke. It's because you don't want it bad enough. Like, I've got my friends that suggested a trip to me. My initial thought was like, oh, I'm not working. But if I want to go bad enough, I will go and find a job, right? And get the funds to go. And I want to go. So as a result of me deciding to go, even though I'm not working at the moment, I've started putting my brain to work, this magical, brilliant tool that we have. How can I bring more money into? How can I make it happen? How can I make money? And all of a sudden, I've got downloads of like, do this, do that, da da da. Instead of saying I can't, say, how can I make it happen? How can I have the funds to do it? And so I started, like, again, small, making the most of what I have. I literally, so out of nowhere, I don't know, for months I've been putting this off. And obviously I did my decluttering process, clearing out. But after how many months, I finally posted everything onto eBay to sell. And already I've seen traction of like people sending offers, money, like a few sales here and there and whatever. Okay. So again, okay, where would the highest desired version of me hang out? Where we should choose to spend the time? What we should be eating? What are the kind of events that I should be going to? And I think in the past I've always associated, like, the reason why I say this is the prime time of my life to enjoy all of this is because I spent the majority of my 20s like partying, having fun, like hanging out in the most like dingiest of places and whatever. And I think it was fine to a certain point. And I'm like, I'm still like, it's not like, oh, I no longer do that and I'm so like, fancy. It's not that. It's, I think when you get to the point where it's so much of your comfort zone and you stick to what you've ever known, you're always in that mind frame, right? And I think this sounds silly, but me and mom make a joke of it. Like, since that we've gone to like more fancier places, basically, we're more conscious of like, oh, do we fully fit in, basically, in a sense that like, oh, am I eating properly? Am I using my cutlery in the right way? And like, da da da. And I realized how much of like me not going to these places because I didn't feel like I was worthy enough, or I didn't fit in, or I didn't belong, right? And I think this is part of exposure therapy. Is like, go to the places. In order for you to become that, you have to go there. Like, you have to literally take the first step. So, the desired version of me would eat the best food the most delicious food, the most fancy, go to the most fanciest places. Like, it's more about the act of feeling, right? I'm not saying I need to spend every single weekend there. Like, if I choose to, if I want to, why not? Why hold yourself back from the privileges of life? I mean, just because you become so accustomed to, like, you know, it also becomes an ego thing. Like, oh, I don't need to go to all these like fancy, like you come up with some reason to back it up because it's snobby, or it's this, or it's like, superficial, or it's whatever, whatever. But deep down, you're like, it's, do you actually believe you belong there? Like, do you actually, um, yeah, it's more about, do you think you should be there? It's more, I want to get comfortable. I want to own the fact that I am worthy, I'm deserving to be anywhere I want to be, right? Um, and also when you're in a certain place, you can attract different types of people, like new experiences, new opportunities, new network of people. Like, nothing changes until you change. So it's like changing your comfort zone. Doing something differently will literally change the trajectory of your life, right? And um and yeah, and I feel like I'm gravitating to, like, I'm starting to enjoy the nicer things in life. I'm starting to, I want to enjoy the most nicest of quality of stuff. I've always like focused on money and on quantity, or like within a certain price range, and it's like, that's fine. Not, no one's knocking it. Sometimes it's actually better than, you know, sometimes it's better than what you pay for. But like, it's more about, you're deserving of good things, right? So yeah, my next point of action is like, make a list of where I want to go and do in my free time. And I think, because again, when I was sharing my last video, like, when you're on this journey, your old frequency will call you back into what's familiar and comfortable. Like, hey, where are you going? This is not what we do. This is like, and when you are very intentional and you've kind of cleared out any frictions, then like, okay, today I've booked to go so and so. This is happening. It's in my diary. It's in my calendar. Whether I like it, it's locked in. Going. It's for the experience. Trying it out. And the more you go, the more comfortable you get, and you realize, like, it's not that deep. Until the point it comes like this is your reality, right? And the thing is, like, for a long time, I was trying to live within my means, and when you live within your means is good, but then you're always like, I realize you're always making a certain amount. But like now, like my friend's talking about going on this trip, and she likes the nicer things in life, like staying in a bougie place. And literally, like, my scarcity mindset literally was like, why? Again, it's just what I've known, what I've done. It's like, we're only going to be there for 2 days. We're going to be like sightseeing for most of the time. Would you not like look into other options that are cheaper? Da da da. Then I was like, one, chill. Like, this is her trip, right? Like, what are you doing? But two, just trust. Like, get used to being in nice places, staying in nice places, even if it's just too nice. Because the more I'm like, oh no, 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 I'm always repeating the same reality, right? And of course, you want to be. I'm always kind of like, I've got that be smart kind of mindset. Because if I'm going to go to a beach holiday, then fine, I'm happy to like indulge and spend more money. But if I know that out and about more, I kind of see, like, what's the point? So it's finding the middle ground. But also, like, I think I've noticed, this is how you're kind of like elevating in terms of mindset. It's like, I get how people of a certain tax bracket act or think. Now I'm starting to understand, is like, it's more of the experience, the feeling of being in a certain atmosphere, certain place, the experience that you get from it. I went to go have a massage, and a lot of them, and I thought, end of the day, you're there for the massage, right? You're just there, someone to like make you feel good. But actually, it's more to it. It's more about like the feeling, the aroma, the lights, the room. Like, it's the whole journey. It sounds, and I've always seen as like superficial, like da 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 da. But the more you'll get yourself comfortable to receiving, the more will come. And so that's literally what I need to be doing, because little old me would have never even booked to go for a massage. So that's good going. But also, like, if it's something that you truly want to do, I'm not saying you have to go broke to live a certain lifestyle, but make a list. Like, these are the things I really wanted to do. And I said to myself, like, when it's the time of month, I'm going to treat myself. Go and have that massage. Like, and if I'm going to do that massage, go on Groupon. Find a good deal. Find a nice offer. Enjoy it, right? Or, like, if it's a one-off and it's going to be an amazing experience or whatever, indulge in it. Because those experiences that you get, those memories, like, it's priceless. And it's more about like another thing I've been doing is like rebuilding my relationship within myself, my inner child, like being the parent that you want to be for yourself and taking care of you. Because if you don't do it, who's going to do it? Okay, it's all well and good to be like, oh, Prince Charming, but yeah, he can do it, but you know, you've got to also show the love and respect to yourself so that others can do the same to you. You set your own standard for the life that you want to live. And so yeah, this has been big. So I'm gonna crack on, do it instead of actually just speaking about doing it. Um, yeah, I'm excited to come up with this little list, my little bucket list of places to do and go in my free time. Be very intentional, have a strategy. Like instead of waking up like, oh, what to do, I'll just go and do the same old thing that I've done for the last how many years of my life. Like try new experiences. We live in a great city, and yeah, sure, it might be expensive, but if you space it out and be like, this month I'm going to treat myself to this lovely, amazing restaurant that's been highly recommended, you're giving yourself what you want, you're treating yourself, and therefore you're not going to be seeking for that in other things or feeling that sense of lack. That's it, not feeling that sense of lack because you're giving it to yourself and just enjoying life, you know. And then I think actually when you do this kind of stuff, the less you feel like you want, because you're already doing it. And I think it's what's his name, that guy whose book How to Live a Rich Life or I Will Make You Rich. He talks about living your rich life, and you know, everyone's rich life is going to look different. But what is it that's going to make you feel rich? Like it's going to make you happy, and invest money into that. You know, someone was just speaking to my mum about it. Like we're talking about brunch. Like to us, it feels a bit silly just to be spending like nearly 20 quid on like sourdough bread and maybe one or two eggs on it, right? I'm making it sound so crap, okay? But when I think about it, black and white, maybe some avocado on top. And there's been times where I've done that, but that doesn't make me feel like I'm living my best life, like my rich life. Like I'd rather go to a nice dinner and feel some type of way and get all dressed up and feel glamorous and whatever, or enjoy something different. Actually, that's the main thing. It's just to enjoy a different cuisine, a delicious meal, than the same old bread, eggs and bread. How different can sourdough bread and what's the name? I forgot the bloody type of egg it is. What's the one that you? What's the runny delicious one? Forgot the name. Anyways, how different can it taste? It's gonna be the same old thing. So yeah, I'd rather make my own sourdough, um, eggs, avocado breakfast brunch at home, which will cost like a fraction of the price, and save that for to go out and enjoy my time doing the things that I love, right? And to everyone is going to look different. So more of that. We got this. Let's go.